Alright, and we are back with the GTX 960 with the 2 GB variant because I'm too cheap to get the higher end version. Anyways, here are the specs here in case anybody is interested. It's 960, nothing exciting. We come over here to MSI Afterburner. We are running a slight overclock with 180 on the core and 310 on the memory. We also turn the power limit all the way up, which I believe is roughly 130 watts, you know, the maximum it can draw. Before I start the actual game benchmarks, like you kind of can see in the background already, The Last of Us, I'm going to see if I can get a GPU power draw figure for MSI Afterburner. But anyways, the main star of the show is the new Ryzen 5 5600X we are using for the test bench now. Before, we were using that i5 4590 in a Dell Optiplex. Yeah, so we're actually using my old system I used to daily drive. I used to daily drive this 5600X, but I've since upgraded to a AM5 build, DDR5, all that fun stuff, so I use this as my test bench now. But anyways, enough yapping, let's get into The Last of Us. Well, starting things off, as you probably saw before, we have The Last of Us Part 1, and we are running this in the 720p resolution, but with a render resolution of 480p because we are utilizing FSR quality right here, as you can see, and the rest of the settings are just all the way down, like as far down as they will go. Like ultra low. Oh, hold on, very low. Now it's at the very lowest settings. Yes, all right, apply that. Yeah, might as well apply and restart. And yeah, it's not looking great. But I'll be honest, for being 480p, I was honestly expecting a bit worse. I mean, 480p is pretty freaking bad, but honestly, FSR 3.1 really isn't that bad of an implementation in this game, I find. It obviously is noticeable because it's not native resolution, but honestly, the resolution upscaling, whatever they do in this game, how they integrated it, whatever, they did a good job with it, I will say. I've definitely seen far worse. But honestly, I'm still pretty impressed that this game is running on this card. I mean, granted, it's not great. It's far from good, as a matter of fact. I mean, the quality is just, you know, amazing. So yeah, let's go outside, I guess, and see what it's like outside with the more vegetation and all that stuff going on. See what we drop into. How's our VRAM usage looking? Surprisingly not maxed out. So this is just all 960 horsepower right here. I have one bullet. Alright. Well, I don't know what I can do. Here, watch this. Fucking loser. Loser. Alright, so I haven't played this game in a while. Let's see if I can. I don't know the keyboard commands. Holy shit, that's bad. I don't know the commands. Okay, well, I think we've played enough of The Last of Us. I don't know the keyboard controls. I've always played this game on controller. With that being said, let's scale it back a little bit. Maybe The Last of Us was a bit of a big ask for this 960. Alright, so we are retrying Counter-Strike 2 as I believe we are running into a CPU bottleneck last time I tried this. Anyways, we're running at the 1080p resolution. We're going to actually dump these to low settings. We're not going to use any Fidelity FX, which is upscaling. We're going to disable that. Everything else, though, pretty much at the lowest. So yeah, with that being said, I will be back once we load into a game. Alright, so here we are in a match of Dust 2, same as usual, team deathmatch or deathmatch, whatever it is. We're going to try and hit some sniper shots. I don't think it's going to go well with this mouse because this mouse is a piece of garbage and I don't have a proper mouse pad, so I don't really think this is going to go well, but we're going to try. I don't know how that person just died, but we're not going to worry about it. Yeah, and this keyboard also doesn't help. When I press the number 2, it doesn't do anything half the time. Actually, that's half the keys that don't work. Yeah, half the keys don't even they don't even work on his keyboard half the time, which is kind of funny. Hey, I got a kill. Hey, I got 2 kills. Okay. Okay, I feel like that should have been a kill. That should have been a kill. That should have been a fucking kill. Don't be robbing me of my kills, game. This game be robbing me. Be robbing me of my kills. Anyways. Ooh, okay. Yeah, well, that's kind of unfortunate there. But yeah, this game's running pretty okay. I mean, how are we doing? Okay, we're 140s. Okay. Yeah, this game's actually running perfectly fine now that I don't have a CPU bottleneck. Now that there's not a CPU bottleneck, this GPU can actually stretch its legs a little bit and actually do something. And it's actually doing that something rather well, surprisingly. So if you really want to play Counter-Strike on a computer and you only have like, you know, 20, 30 bucks for a graphics card, you can pick yourself up a GTX 962 gig and you're gonna have yourself a decent Counter-Strike experience. Now granted, you know, I mean, you probably would want higher frames, but if you're on a budget and you really want to play Counter-Strike, the 960 actually is not a bad choice. This thing's performing rather well. I mean, granted, it's a 960 and it's getting older now. Oh, my mouse just disconnected there for a second. That was kind of scary. But yeah, Counter-Strike 2 is running flawlessly. I don't have any complaints with it other than, well, I fucking suck at this. Well, actually, it's not even me. It's just this setup I have. It's just not ideal. So yeah, I think that's enough complaining about my setup, and you know, enough you poor fellers having to experience my horrible Counter-Strike gameplay. But yeah, let's try 1 or 2 more games. All right, and here we are in Fortnite. We are running with the native 1080p resolution. We are using DirectX 11 unlimited FPS cap because there's no point. We're trying to see the limits of the graphics card. Motion blur non-existent because who likes motion blur? Everything else is set pretty much all the way down except for view distance, which is set too far. Everything else is turned too low. So obviously I could switch to performance mode, which a lot of people probably do, but I feel like that's a bit too easy on this card, you know? So we're going to have to make it work a little bit, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to use just regular DX11. I mean, hey, on this little beginning area, oh, there's a stutter. One thing I did do is I did turn the averages and 1% lows on. I can make that a thing, so we get to see Stutter Night in its true glory with the 1% lows. And then obviously we'll have the average FPS. Let's see here. So getting about 80s, 90s FPS up here, not bad. Well, I don't really know this map. I don't play Fortnite, so we're just gonna drop here and we're gonna see what happens. I mean, honestly, for being all low settings, this game doesn't look atrocious, to be honest with you. I mean, it could definitely look way worse, which, you know, is a thing I should just keep in mind. It could always be worse. I could just dump the resolution and go to performance mode, but hey, we're testing a 960 here. You know, it's not a 710. I think we can afford this. But anyways, let's see here. What we got? SMG? Yeah, I'm fucking dead. I just wanna get a kill. 1 kill. And that's it. All right, that's all I want. So far, though, I'm actually rather impressed by this performance. We're setting 120s, 130s, so really not that bad. And again, it is low, you know, pretty much everything on low except textures, so, you know, I guess that's to be expected. But yeah, let's just try and get a kill, I guess, and we're gonna see what happens. Either I get a kill or I get killed. So we're gonna see. We're gonna try and get involved here. Oh, there's a lot of gunshots over here, huh? Oh. It's gotta be a bot, right? I'm not that bad. Trust me, I'm not that bad. That's a, yeah, that's a bot. Yeah. Okay, well. Whatever, I guess. So yeah, Fortnite is running surprisingly well. I mean, the 960 isn't exactly a terrible card, so I guess it really shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. It's far from a horrible card, so yeah, we're getting pretty respectable FPS. How's our GPU stat? I can't see this on my monitor because it's a weird resolution. Okay. Maxing out the VRAM almost and pulling about 100 watts. Okay, so it's pushing this card fairly well. So yeah, okay. 5600X, putting in the work. Actually, it's not really putting in much work at 30% usage, but that's okay. So we're not going to spend too much more time here on Fortnite. I'm actually surprised it's not stuttering that much. It typically stutters a lot more. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just lucky today. I don't know. Damn, that's tough. You just got third party. All right. That being said, let's move on to another game. Well, I had to do it. I had to. We have Battlefield 6 running on a GTX 960. You know what? I'm honestly impressed. The fact that this game is running at about 30 to 40-ish frames per second. It's kind of more so in the 30s. But still, the fact that this game is running at all, honestly, on a 2 gigabyte 960 is actually insane to me. I honestly did not think this game was going to launch. And if it did launch, I was not expecting it to be... I don't know if playable would be a right way to put it, but I didn't think it'd have enough frames to be controllable. And the game is definitely controllable. Now, can you have fun like this? I mean, not when you have frame dips like that. But you can absolutely play the game like this. Maybe not. No. Okay. Well, that was quick. While we bleed out here, let's go ahead and go over the settings real quick. Let's see here. We're running basically everything on low. Okay. This was all auto set, so I didn't do any of this. Let's go ahead and go to advanced. Let's actually go ahead and... Oh, FSR quality is already on. Again, this is all automatic. I didn't do any of this. Let's go ahead and turn FSR down to ultra performance, just so we have a fighting chance at actually maybe getting a couple kills. And yeah, we're at the 1080p resolution, I think. Looks like it. Yep, 1080p. All right. And that didn't really do much, besides just make it look worse. This is bad. This is bad. I got a kill though. I got a kill. All right. So the game is playable. Kind of. I mean, if you can play first-person shooter games at 30 FPS, then yeah, you can definitely play this. But me personally, I would not consider this playable. So it's just games like this, you typically want around 60 frames or better. Yeah, I mean, it's doing better than I was expecting. Let's go ahead and try and turn down the settings a little bit more. Let's go ahead and make sure everything is actually set to the lowest, just to double check, which I believe it should be, but you never know. And it looks like yes, everything is indeed turned down too low. Let's go ahead and try some frame generation. As much as I don't like frame gen, we're gonna try everything we can here. And we're also going to turn it down to 720p. Okay. 60 hertz, sure. All right. Make sure. There we go. Keep changes, yes. All right. So this is 720p frame generation, everything lowest settings. How are we doing? Oh no, that input that input lag. Oh no, that's a good half a second to 3/4 of a second. I mean, hey, on the plus side, we're getting 100 plus FPS now in a GTX 960. I mean, honestly, this isn't great. It definitely feels atrocious with the frame generation, because considering the baseline FPS is only sub 30s, sub 40s. I mean, at 720p, it might be hitting in the 50s, but it's just, there's really not much you can do about the performance, just down to the fact that we're out of VRAM. Where if I had the 4 gig variant of this card, this game might be playable without frame generation. Maybe one day I'll get the 4 gig card to test it, but I don't know. I don't think it'd be worthwhile, considering it's a 960 at the end of the day. I mean, you know, is it really worth my money? Yeah, this is definitely not a great experience, but hey, I got almost 2 kills again, so I guess it's playable. I guess it's playable, kind of. Only if you can actually deal with the input lag of frame gen, which I personally can't deal with that. But anyways, that brings us to the end of our benchmarks. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you got to do to get this video higher in the YouTube algorithm, I guess. Whatever the fuck you want to do. Just get the video out there, share it, and then engage with the video to help with sharing. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. Either way, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.